Today's very special Merry Christmas guest is a returning guest on the show. He hasn't been with us in a while, since the very, very early days of the episode, so if you're new here, let me introduce him. In this one, we talk about Christmas, because 'tis the season. We talk about movies, songs, Christmas traditions, things we hate about Christmas. I turn into a little bit of a Grinch at one point, but it's very fun. And I knew when I sat down to record a Christmas episode, there was only one person who had the magical Christmas spirit, and that's this guy. Please enjoy this episode with my good friend, Mr. Knox Blevins.
There's not even a point, because you have the automatic starter for it. Oh, okay.
I do for my car, but not for the rental.
Oh, okay.
So every morning I have to wake up in my robe and run down the stairs. My neighbors are like, this guy, Cousin Eddie out there starting up his car. But yeah, I mean, it's been a month, so I'm off the road because I don't have a car that's mine, that I trust for long drives. Off the road for a couple weeks, and then it's like life kind of just like forced me to take a little break, which I haven't done in 3.5 years, really. Yeah. So it's like by the time January 10th rolls around, that'll be the longest I've gone without a big show since I started stand-up.
Wow, okay.
I'm a little nervous about it.
Yeah.
And I'm a little sad about it, but it's like I just feel like life's forcing me into this, so I'm just going to go with it a little bit.
Hey, I mean, you may find that actually it's a good thing.
Maybe.
You never know.
I'm planning to like try and revamp like the writing and the open mics and like the workout stuff that I need to be doing and wasn't doing as much because I had so many shows. It was like I'll try new stuff at the show. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Now it's like I'm kind of like starting from ground up again. It's fun. It's like liberating and unfortunate at the same time. I don't know how to feel about it.
So does Chattanooga have a big comedy scene?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Like as far as Tennessee goes, it's probably, I'd say it's like maybe second or third to Nashville.
I assume Nashville's the big one.
Nashville's the biggest one. Memphis has some stuff, but Chattanooga has the Comedy Catch, which is where those shows were. And it's a great club. Danielle's the owner, and she's awesome. And they get like some really good comics that just like her calendar is really interesting because it'll be a lot of people that you don't know yet, but you're gonna. And then there's a lot of people that it's like, how did she get them to Chattanooga? Like a lot of those like Nate Bargatze type friends have hit like Dusty Slay and those guys all go through there. So she gets some really great comedians. And this guy's name was Dale Jones. If you ever get bored and you want to check out a new comic, he is unbelievable. He's unbelievable. And he's my grandma's favorite comic. Okay. So she got to meet him and see me open for him. And she like has not stopped talking about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. She like got a t-shirt from him and got to hug him and all.
Merry Christmas, Grandma.
Yeah, for real. She was pumped. Let me ask you this. What is the best Christmas gift that you've ever gotten?
That's tough.
It's so tough.
Because like
I've been thinking about this all day.
It's tough because my family, we typically, like my parents, after we turned like 13, they just give us money. Yeah. Because they're like, y'all know what you want. We don't really know what you want. But probably two stand out.
Okay. Give them to me.
So I had the Talk Boy. I got the Talk Boy from Home Alone 2.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was epic. And then
how old are you at that time?
It wasn't when Home Alone 2 came out. It was years later. It's probably like 98.
I thought you were going to be, I was 36.
It was last year.
Just last year. Still playing with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've still got it too.
That's awesome.
It's missing the back cover for the batteries. That's the only downside. And then I was a huge Pikachu. Well, I was a huge Pikachu fan, but a huge Pokemon fan. Yeah. And I got the Pikachu pillow. I don't know if you remember those.
Oh, like the cutout pillow, like the shape of him.
And it was huge. Cool. It was so soft. I love that.
Yeah. Do you still have that one?
I do, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
You're like, I sleep with it every night.
Exactly.
Those are, I mean, I feel like when you're that young too, it doesn't take a lot. You know what I mean? Like now I feel like a lot of kids get like insane stuff for Christmas, like a whole tree house or something, like crazy things. But like, I think it's tough for me to say too. And I have been thinking about this all day. The only one I can think of is and I think it's probably just because there's a photo of the moment. I got a Wii the year that it came out.
Okay.
So it was like, we didn't have, let me back up. had not a ton of money as a family when I was a kid, but Christmas somehow was always over the top. Like that's when my mom went over the top and really tried to spoil me. So it was like I got really good presents, but the idea that I would get a gaming system that was like hot and new, that just wasn't the norm for me. So, and she made it even more special because she did like a scavenger hunt thing in the house where she left little clues and I had to find it. Oh, and I just remember it was in the dryer on like a bed of towels. And there's a photo.
Started the dryer.
I just hit start. Oh, that would have been so sad. I've never even thought about that. That could have ruined Christmas. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the show so far. Hope you're enjoying it. Why don't you come see me do stand-up comedy? January 10th, I'm going to be in Johnson City for the next Don't Tell Tri-City show. That's our first show of the year, so that's going to be a brand new headliner, a brand new venue, a brand new year. What a fun treat. Come see me then. On the 24th of January will be the following show for Don't Tell Tri-Cities, another special returning headliner all the way from Nashville, Tennessee. Great dude, great comedian, lots of fun. Back to the episode. There's a photo I found recently of me with it when I go like running into the living room of our single wide trailer with it, and I am freaking, like this, the Wii's worth more than the trailer probably. But that stands out because I don't think I've ever seen a photo of me where I looked more excited than that moment. Yeah, that was cool, and that's like. I guess that kind of goes against what I said when it doesn't have to be much, because that's a new gaming system is a lot. Yeah. That's actually a lot. But it was just so new at the time. I had a picture. I lost it. I'll plug it in the episode. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. That was one of my favorites. And then I've gotten some really good ones. Like my stepdad is the world's greatest gift giver. Really? It's crazy. Yeah. Like for what he lacks in like general communication skills, he like more than makes up for in sentiment when he buys gifts. So whatever he gets me, like it's to the point where Mom and Haley both will be like, he did it again. Like we can't even buy you anything because he gets. I think I've shown you that pistol that I have downstairs. I don't know that revolver. That's him. Yeah. Okay, like that was really meaningful. Yeah, special stuff. So whatever he got me this year, Haley has said is going to be your new favorite Christmas present. Like I don't know what it is, but we'll see. So I'll report back.
Should have told you that. Like now it's like your hopes are up here. Yeah. And you're gonna open it and be like, oh, thanks.
It is kind of cool. It's a pair of socks. Yeah, it's gonna be whatever it is, I'll be happy for it. But have you ever gotten, and this is a tough question because I don't want you to call anybody out. What do you think is the worst Christmas gift you've ever gotten?
Oh gosh.
Do you know of anything like off the bat?
I don't know. Ugh. So and this isn't like my aunt and uncle. They used to, because they would give us money and then they would also get us like VHS movies, and they were always VHS movies that you've never heard of. Okay. I don't know where they got them from.
Like the flea market VHS movie?
Yeah. And they were always bad, but they were hilarious. Like my brothers and I would love sitting down and watching them as little kids because they were just so bad.
That's awesome.
But I don't know. That's
a tough one because it's like you don't want to like be mean to whoever got it to you. I asked a friend of mine who's a comedian that this time last year we did, or maybe it was the year before, we did a Christmas episode of my old podcast, and we asked him, and he said his sister bought him this book, and it's called Stand Up, Yummy Chong, and it's about like a Korean lady who starts doing stand up, but it's like a kid's book. It's like cardboard pages, like thick, and we pulled it up. It's the funniest book you've ever seen in your life. Wow! And he was like adamant that he was like, that's the worst one. Like he had such disdain for it. He was like, I hated it. So, I mean, I don't have one thing like that like leaps out to me. Yeah. I do know that he's not going to love this, but what I just said about my stepdad is true. He's the best gift giver ever, except there was a number of years where him and my mom were divorced. And there was like one or two Christmases within that where it was like, they were both seeing different people and like, we don't really speak to him or about him. And I think one year he got me like a metal cup. Like a reusable metal cup. And I was like, this is quite a fall from grace. Okay. Like I didn't divorce you. Like, why are you doing this to me? But he went from like the greatest gift giver ever to like, I feel like he made a point with that cup. I think about that all the time where I'm like, that one stands out among the rest. It's still nice. He still got me something. Yeah. But yeah, I've been very, very fortunate with Christmas stuff. We even we get a little bonus at work, but now we get it in February. But when I was a kid, my mom worked for the same company, and they used to do it in early December. So I was talking to her about this recently, and she was like, "That bonus is like how you had at Christmas as a kid. Like without that, you would have had nothing.
Oh, wow.
Because it would be like, $1,500 or something for her back then. And that's a lot for us back then. So she's like, that's probably like how you got the Wii or whatever. It was like that bonus. So that's cool. I was always taken care of. Did you had like a much bigger family than I did. So did you guys have any fun like traditions around Christmas?
Probably the only traditions that we really had were we would always watch, if we were able to, we would always watch A Muppet Christmas Carol, which is my favorite Christmas movie, on Christmas Eve. Yeah. And then we would always spend Christmas at least 9 times out of 10 in Miami. Oh. So, because that's where my mom's parents lived, and that's where she's from. And so we would always be up here for Thanksgiving, because when we lived in Mississippi, we'd come up here. And then, and even when we moved up here, we'd spend Thanksgiving here, and then we'd go down there for Christmas. So palm trees and beach are very Christmassy to me.
That's kind of interesting. I think about that a lot, of like people's idea of what Christmas is, because I know like I grew up only here, and I have this idea of it. But I have friends who grew up, in the desert or whatever, and it is like, when I think about growing up, I almost feel fortunate in a way that like I pretty much always saw snow, maybe not on Christmas, but like around Christmas. Yeah. I know people now who've like never seen snow. Like my girlfriend's sister is dating this dude who's awesome, and he's from New Orleans. And he was up here this past winter when it snowed, and he was like, I've never seen anything like this. That's crazy. Like I just couldn't, my brain can't comprehend it because I'm so used to it. Miami is a cool vibe though for Christmas.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's fun.
And then for years, when we would go down, me and my brothers and whatever cousins were going to be going to Miami that year, we would go to Disney World for a day before Christmas. So, and I don't know if you've ever been there at Christmas time. It's crazy. But the decorations are just awesome.
I bet. Yeah.
And honestly, if you go early enough when kids are still in school, like it's not bad.
Interesting.
But where it was like 3 days before Christmas, it was always really busy.
Yeah. It does, I don't mind the crowds in a way. Like it kind of like with Gatlinburg. Like it does add to it a little bit, but I don't know. I'm just like such not a people person that I don't want to be around 1,000 people. Have you ever been to the Biltmore during Christmas? Haley really wants to go this year too, which we might have to go after Christmas. We're going to try to make
That's when we did. It was after Christmas.
I've heard it's awesome.
Yeah.
I've heard it's really cool.
It's really well, maybe one year was before Christmas. I can't remember. But typically I've always gone after Christmas.
Do they still have the Christmas stuff up after Christmas?
When I was there, they did,
I guess probably maybe till like the new year or something. Yeah, we're gonna try to go because I've never even been to the Biltmore. And I was talking with my last guest about this, of like, in my dumb brain, I am kind of like, it's a big house, so what? But I think I'm the type of, like, once I'm there, I'll be like, this is insane.
It's cool. Yeah. It's overpriced.
Is it?
But it's cool. Yeah. And I mean, it's been a few years since I've been there, but I just remember thinking, I'm like, I don't think should be this much.
Yeah, it's just a house. I do kind of feel like a lot of the appeal of it is just not made for me. Like I can see, like Haley, I understand why she's obsessed with it. She also grew up in Asheville, and they would take field trips there and stuff, so it's sentimental for her.
Sure.
But yeah, like I know they have like a wine or wine cellar thing that people go crazy for. I'm like, I don't know.
And the gardens, that's really cool too. Of course, you're not going to see that this time.
It's not going to look great. It's not going to look great in December. Yeah, I don't know. We didn't do a ton of traditions. Do you do like a Christmas dinner food, like ham and the traditional stuff too?
Yeah.
I feel like my family always tries to like reinvent the wheel every year. We've always done that with holidays. But like this year, my grandma was like, maybe we'll just do finger foods or breakfast for dinner or whatever. And I kind of like it, honestly, because I'm kind of bored with ham and mashed potatoes.
I'm not a huge ham guy anyway.
Yeah. What do you eat at Christmas? What's like your go-to?
For me anymore, it's very limited. I basically have like turkey, a sweet potato, maybe some black-eyed peas. I love black-eyed peas. Green beans, maybe. That's about it.
I mean, I feel like that's a lot of like traditional foods. What about like Christmas candies and stuff? You probably have to be careful there too.
Yeah,
right?
I don't, just because of the sugar. Yeah.
Rats.
I know.
Oh, that really, that puts a damper on it.
Because my family would always order, I guess you could say this is a tradition. Have you ever heard of Swiss Colony? They sell all kinds of things as far as like food and candies and stuff go, but they have this chocolate torte that's super good. And so my entire life, my family would always order a bunch of those because I think they only come out around Christmas time.
Let me get a look at this chocolate torte.
It's really good. Yeah.
I like a torte.
My parents are in Miami right now, so I've been going over and getting their mail and stuff, and they've just gotten boxes and boxes of Swiss Colony in, and like one of them had like 6 chocolate tortes, and I'm like, well, y'all are ready for the year.
You're like, that's coming back to my house. That's hilarious. the word tort alone just kind of feels fancy to me. Also, you can tell I can't type at all.
Yeah,
is that it?
Looks like that right there.
Wow. Yeah, that looks nice. That's got some layers on
Yeah.
it too. That does look good. I'm so
It's
easily
not sugar-free, though,
impressed.
so I don't know what that's about.
Ooh. Yeah, I was about to say I'm out. If it's sugar-free, that changes my opinion.
It's vegan.
We do... Oh, there's an espresso one, too.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Now you're
Dang.
talking. That's right up my alley.
And is that from Swiss Colony? Oh,
Seems
it is, yeah.
to be. Yeah. And
Dang,
looks like an
they've
orange
ramped
one?
it up.
Wow.
I just know the traditional one.
Look at them. They're going all out. What do you think about the chocolate-orange combo?
I like it.
I do, too.
I like it.
That's one of my favorite. I don't like fruit chocolate combo. Like, I don't like chocolate covered strawberries. I
Really?
catch flack for this all the time. I like them separate. Something about it. I don't like the fruit and chocolate thing, except for orange.
Yeah,
I
the
think
citrus
that's great.
really works with it.
It does. It's especially a dark chocolate and an orange. The way it like cuts through the richness of it is so good.
I had a mousse at a restaurant one time that was chocolate orange, and it was so good.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
My grandma used to work in the bakery deli at Food City, like my whole childhood, and she decorated cakes. So first of all, she would always smell like icing, which was exactly what you want your grandma to be. Like
course.
I remember like laying on her lap after dinner as a kid and being like, "You just smell heavenly. Like you smell like a
Like
cake."
biting her.
Yeah, her skin actually like it was in her skin. I think she smelled like cake. But she had like a friend or whatever that worked there, and she would make the Christmas candies every year, and she used to bring home these boxes or bags of all the like the peanut butter cookies with the Hershey's in them and all the things. One of them was like an orange roll. It was like a long stick of like an orange Jello that had been dipped in chocolate. So it's like the consistency of basically Jello, like a gelatinous orange filling dipped in chocolate. One of the better things I've ever had. Yeah, I think about that all the time.
I feel like that those consistencies are so wrong together.
I don't know how it even like practically I don't even know how you make it. Like how do you dip Jello without it fall? I have no idea.
Yeah, because the chocolate has to be hot enough to stay melted.
Exactly.
And wow, yeah,
I'm thinking maybe it was like an orange cream, but in my memory it was more like gelatinous or something. But it definitely was like an orange filling.
Could you freeze the Jello some and then dip it?
Maybe so. I just know that there was like a mixed bag with like a bunch of different candies, but I always went after that as a kid. I was like, I want that thing. And then there's a little bakery in Asheville. There's two of them now. Well, I think maybe only one because one of them was in the Biltmore Village when it got flooded during Helene, and I don't think it ever came back. But it's called. Oh, Jesus, what's it called? I can't remember the name of it, but it's a little, it's my favorite place, and I can't remember the name of it, in Asheville, and they have this giant orange cookie, or chocolate orange cookie. It's got, like, dark chocolate chunks in it and, like, orange zest in the oh, my God. Dude. It is sinfully good. That is one of, and it's the size of, like, my head. It is massive.
That's awesome.
That's a good combo. And then I have a very, very sweet coworker who goes like above and beyond every year, and she made me and my boss these like it is literally a hat box, like a giant circular box full of little tins of like peanut butter fudge and pretzel sticks and puppy chow and all these like candies, and a lot of it I'm just like like I'll re-gift it for sure, but some of it like I don't know, it doesn't get me. Candy is just not my jam. So like you've had to adapt away from it, right? Yeah. Do you have like a Christmas little guilty pleasure thing that you like to do? Is it the chocolate tort?
Well, I can't have it. It's not gluten free. Yeah, so my family just sits around and stares at me while they eat it. They're like, "Wow, this is so good, Knox."
Yeah, but you wish you had.
Suck.
Yeah, but you wish you were Swiss. That's funny. I like. What about the Christmas tree cakes? Can't have those.
No, but I have found gluten-free recipes for it.
Really?
Yeah. Ooh. But again, I try to avoid sugar, except for on special occasions. So so if I was doing well, like if I hadn't had a flare-up or anything, I might do something like that. But this year, I've had so many flare-ups that I'm just like, no, stay away.
Yeah, no thanks.
Everything, stay away.
Dude, your diet and mine are so different. I'm just realizing my diet's almost exclusively gluten and sugar. That's kind of my whole jam.
Mine was before I had to.
Yeah, we at work we do this cool thing during December where like pretty much every other day is a different department's day to like bring food and do a theme and stuff. And we've gotten like some really good stuff brought this year. I've been eating nonstop for 2 weeks. I'm over it, dude. I'm like, I can't eat anymore.
So like the Grinch at the what is it called? The Hallapalooza?
The feasting thing? Yeah.
And
just the roast beast. I just keep eating. Pretty much. And it's like to the point where, there's our break room is right near my desk. And like people are going in and out all day. And I'm just like, bruh. Like I can't even look in there. We had Ridgewood barbecue today.
Okay,
they like catered so much food. It was so good though. And then we did a Mexican Christmas day from my department. We did like a Feliz Navidad Christmas, and one of my bosses brought a flan. She made a flan. I don't know if you ever had that.
Wait, that's like
delicious.
I think I've always called it flan.
Same thing. Yeah,
okay,
it's like a little.
Is it a custard?
Kind of like it's like a custardy thing, and it's got like a syrup on it.
I don't think I've ever had it, but I'm familiar with it.
It's really good. I will say for like anybody who's a texture person, it might be a problem because it's very kind of gelatinous and like very it's. I think Haley would have a problem with it. When I'm thinking of like somebody who struggles with texture, she's
my
not.
My father-in-law is that way.
Really?
He's struggling. Like coconut is a thing. He loves the flavor of coconut, but he can't eat coconut.
You know, Haley doesn't like coconut either, and I never thought that might be the grittiness of it or the crunch.
Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting. I bet it is. She's like really come a long way with food since we've been together because I just force her. I'm like, you're gonna try it. You're just gonna try it. Mushrooms is the only thing.
That's like Lauren.
She can't do it.
Like I've gotten Lauren to try a lot of things, and some of the things that she's really liked, some of them she hasn't. But she just still to this day can't do mushrooms.
Is there something that was like her? Like I hate this thing, and you convinced her of it?
So she hates mustard, and I make honey mustard.
Yeah.
And she refused to try it for forever, and finally she tried it. And she was like, "Okay, this is actually really good."
It's really good. When you make your honey mustard, do you lean more towards the honey or more towards the mustard?
It really just kind of depends on the day. I don't follow a strict recipe.
Just what you're feeling.
Yeah. Sometimes by accident.
You're a true artist.
That's right.
Like sometimes the artist is feeling a little more mustard.
Now she goes way more honey.
Oh yeah.
Because she can taste the mustard there, but the honey helps. So.
It's just yellow. It's just honey with a little bit of yellow in
Well, it's really more brown. Like it's just super brown
because
there's so much.
It's all honey. I like my honey mustard to have a little more mustard than most people. I want a little
love
punch.
mustard, so.
Yeah, I make this sauce for Haley occasionally. Like if we do like a steak sandwich or something, and it's like a really horseradish thick sauce, and she didn't used to like it, but I do like roasted garlic cloves and horseradish, and it's very pungent, but like a very thin spread of it. I love it. I love it. That was one that it took a while for her to come around to those. I'm thinking about like Christmas stuff, and this is very simple questions, but I just wrote these down, and I don't think I have a strong opinion about these one way or the other because again, I didn't grow up with a lot of these. Let me ask you this: real tree versus fake tree?
I've always done fake. Well, now I did do real for a few years, and then one year with my ex, and then one year it died early, even though we were watering. It died like a week before Christmas, and it was a mess. And so we ended up having to take it down, go getting a fake tree, and I was just like, I don't want to do a real tree anymore.
It's such a bummer. Like
it
a
is.
Dead Christmas tree in your house is maybe the saddest thing of all.
It really is.
And those bristles get everywhere, or the needles or whatever. I mean, honestly, a fake tree kind of gets everywhere too. Like this is a tiny little tree that I just brought in here last night. We were like setting up this space for this episode, and I already have like glitter and needles all over me. I'm like, I hate it.
The flocked ones are the ones that are really bad. I love them, but man, they're so messy.
Yeah. Do you, with a tree, do you want like a huge tree? Are you that person who wants like bigger the better?
The bigger the better.
Yeah.
I mean, ours isn't big just because our ceiling isn't that tall, but Lauren's grandparents, they have an arched ceiling, and it's like at the, gosh, I don't know, maybe 12 feet.
Yeah.
It's
That's
nice.
the same one. My stepdad has the same thing. His living room is like the only room in the house that has a huge ceiling.
Yeah.
And he's got a 12-footer in there. And
That's
it's
awesome.
pretty skinny, but it's like by the time it gets to the bottom, it's huge.
Yeah,
At 12 feet. It's massive.
Yeah,
I like it too. And I really like when you're like driving somewhere and you see like someone in their yard has a huge one. I've always wanted to go see the Rockefeller Center one too.
Oh,
I've never been.
I haven't either.
It's huge.
Okay, so as far as lights go, what kind of lights do you like on a tree?
I was gonna white or colored lights. Is that
or just even like large bulb, small bulb?
I think I like the large bulb colored ones, like the retro looking ones.
Absolutely.
I think I like those. I also kind of like whatever the ones are that look kind of like icicles or something.
And they bubble?
Yeah, they kind of like
Yeah.
stream or bubble, like the
Yeah.
little. I like that.
Yeah, those are cool. I forget
those are cool.
what they're called, but yeah, those are fun. Laura and I were talking about this the other day.
I don't like some of these like new age modern Christmas trees. You see these with like the Edison bulbs and stuff,
Yeah.
and you're like, knock it off.
Yeah.
Like, it's the one time of year we can just be tacky.
Exactly.
And it's all about capitalism. That's the whole thing. Just buy stuff. That's the
Exactly.
whole thing. Yeah, my mom did. She was always like trying to be modern and stuff, which is just hilarious. But anyways, but she one year had like a white frosted tree and then had like purple and silver decorations. I just remember my grandpa in the corner looking at it like, what has come to this family?
Lauren's going to be a little offended by that because
She does?
Well, so like I said, their parents had like a tree in every room.
Yeah.
And she had a white tree. And purple was her favorite color. I don't know if it still is or not.
It's mom's too.
But I know she had pink, and she probably had a lot of purple as well.
Yeah, I don't like. It is kind of the one thing where I'm like, just let it be tacky. Like, what's the big deal? But I guess if you're that kind of person that like wants a kind of a clean or modern look to everything,
I like both.
Yeah,
I
like this right here just pisses me off.
That's.
Dude.
I don't even know what that is.
If I come into your house and you have this, I'll turn around and leave quietly. Like, don't give me that, dude. What
just
is
set the house
that?
on fire and then leave.
Yeah, that's not a Christmas tree.
Yeah, give me the '90s Christmas.
Yes, like something more. Oh, dude, this right here will send me into a tizzy. That is not a tree.
No, it's not.
That's like one of those weird bug nets you hang over your bed when you're on safari or something. That's not even a tree. These are crazy. Yeah, this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
These little
thanks.
paper mache pyramid trees. Oh my goodness.
Everything's just gotten too white and clean. Mm-hmm. I want some color.
Yeah, I've even seen. Oh my god, dude, that right there. That is just awful. That's so annoying. Those poor kids.
That looks like the Disney Channel when they would make the.
Yeah. I'm Knox and you're watching Disney Channel. Yeah, that's the worst. I don't understand this like modern tree thing. And I feel like I'm seeing this more and more. And it's almost like like this guy is like proud of what he's done. He's sitting next to this like, check, isn't that pretty cool?
He needs to
Dude,
he needs to be brought down a peg or two.
No. Yes, absolutely. I want tacky. I want the worst of the worst. Let's see what we can find. Because what I really want is like something giant or like most. Wonder if I just search most impressive Christmas trees. Yeah, now we're talking. That's a tree right there. That sucker is huge.
That is.
There is a really cool hotel in New Orleans that's very expensive, but it's like I always tell Haley when I hit it big, that's where we're going. And it's called Hotel Monteleone. It's super.
That sounds kind of familiar.
It's very historic and very famous. And during Christmas, they do like a real nice setup in the lobby and stuff, and it is just gorgeous. My goodness, that is like a dream Christmas for me is to be at that hotel. Oh, we froze. With that kind of stuff. That is just beautiful.
That is awesome.
Yeah. I love that.
Just classy.
Classy. Yeah, not tacky, but just classic and classy for sure. But I do kind of like the big Feliz Navidad looking bulbs and stuff. I do kind of like that too.
So actually, talking about the Christmas lights, it made me think of Frasier. Do you remember the episode where Frasier had bought like the chili pepper lights?
Yes.
His dad was really upset about it. I was like, I think he's like, why don't we get a nice broccoli to put on top of the tree or something like that?
Yeah, I don't understand this whole like let's reinvent the wheel every holiday. My mom is the worst. And she actually, I brought this up on the Thanksgiving episode with my friend Travis, and she mentioned it. Of like, because I said one thing she always does is like, we'll just be sitting there and she'll be like, let's play a game. Everybody get like a toilet roll holder and a paper clip and some tape, and then like make up a game. I'm like, can we not just like sit here? Like, it's always trying to reinvent something. But I think Christmas for you was anyone in your family like was your dad like a real like we're doing Christmas this year?
I mean, we always kind of. Christmas was definitely a big part of our year, but I don't know that anybody was just like super crazy aggressive about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we were super aggressive. I think that, and I've said this before, maybe, my grandpa, it's like the one time a year that he would turn into like this little kid. Like he would set up like a train and he would put, we had this nice big long kitchen table in the house until I was 8. It was a huge long table, and then he would put these little, I don't know what they're called, but it's like little miniatures, and there'd be like a frozen pond one, and there'd be like little guys on skates going around.
Okay, yeah.
And there'd be a carousel, and then there'd be like sleds going down a hill and stuff.
Have some of that.
Whatever those were. It was a big trend back in like the 80s, I guess. And so he had a bunch of them, and he just like loved getting them out and setting them up and making this whole town, you know.
With the Christmas Village thing.
Christmas Village and having the train go around them and stuff. And
Yeah.
it wasn't even really about like the presents or the food. It was just like he tried to make the space festive.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one thing we were talking about before we started recording. Like in my house, I have almost nothing Christmas. I think downstairs, the only thing I have is like a red towel on my oven. It's like the only Christmas thing that I have in my whole house, except for up here. And there is something to that, I think. It's like, it's subconscious. It like tricks you into being festive a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, yeah.
He was thrilled about it. And a train, he loved a train.
Yeah.
He loved to get new trains. We would go pick them out and do the little liquid smoke drops in the,
nice.
You know, in the engine or whatever. Yeah, I guess if I had any traditions, it was that kind of stuff.
Sure.
With him. I was talking to my boss today at work, and she is in her mid 40s, and her dad is in like his late 60s, early 70s now. And she was telling me that this year, her and her two sisters, who are about the same age, went out, I guess last night or the other night, with him to do some Christmas shopping for their mom. And she was like, it's a yearly tradition. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. How long have you been doing it? And she goes, well, we realized last night, he said to me, I remember when we were doing this and I was pushing two of you in a stroller. So every year, the three daughters and him go out. And I thought, man, that's really something.
Yeah.
That's really special. That's like a 40-year-old tradition. I mean, I'm not even 40, but I don't think we really have anything quite like that.
Yeah.
That's really special.
Oh, yeah.
You guys in Miami, what would you do for Christmas?
Well, not a lot. The funny thing is my grandparents, they didn't ever put a big tree. They had a tree about that size.
Oh, really?
They put it on the table, and that was the Christmas
That's
tree.
it?
Yeah.
It works.
There'd be presents everywhere around it, but like they never did a big tree.
That works.
So we always had, enjoyed our tree before we'd go to Miami.
Yeah, I wonder, like, what's it like spending Christmas at the beach? Like, do you actually go out on the beach on Christmas Day?
We did, yeah, and actually it's pretty cool. Because the Cubans, they would go out to the beaches, and that's where they would like, I don't know what you would call it, how they would cook the pig, but like they would dig a big hole in the sand, and they would cook it. And I didn't get any, but my brother Clint, we were out there one time on Christmas Day, and they called him over, and they were like, "Hey, you want some?" And I don't know if you've ever had Cuban food.
That's
food,
awesome.
but it's
Yeah,
delicious.
it's amazing.
So good.
It's amazing. There's I actually spent a little time in Tampa growing up, and like Ybor City is a historical Cuban area there in Tampa. And I've had some food down there, and then there's a little bit around here. You can find it every now and then, at least like a Cuban sandwich or something. Yeah. And there's a place in Kingsport that I'm not for sure if it's 100% Cuban, but they have like Cuban sandwiches. They have some plantain dishes and stuff, different stuff. It's like really, really good stuff. I'm a big fan of Cuban food. Yeah, that's funny. I guess that's another part of it where it's like when I think of Christmas foods, I don't think of like roasted pig.
Yeah,
but they do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's really cool. I just had my friend Sarah in here too, and she, her parents are from Mexico, and she was kind of telling me a little about like how different her food items were just day to day growing up. I think that stuff is so interesting.
Yeah.
She was even saying that like when because she was born in the US, but she's like when we lived here, like growing up in Kingsport, when she would take food out of her lunchbox, kids would be like, what is that? Like making fun of her for the stuff. And I'm like, that's just so crazy to think about because I would never be that kid, but I guess some kids do.
Well, and I mean, when you're younger like that, if you're not aware of like other cultures and things, I mean, I can see, because I mean, I was only in school for 1 year, and if it wasn't the lunch that I was getting that they had, I would be like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something. Yeah. So you see some kid take out like an enchilada, and you've never had an enchilada, and you're just like, what is that?
What in the Taco Bell is that? Yeah. She said that there was like some pretty serious like bullying around it and stuff. And I mean, I guess you see that stuff in movies, but like that's my friend. Like to hear her describe this, and of course, she's also really funny and hip. Like she's in on it, so we talk about it a lot. But it is fun. What about Christmas music all year long or just in December?
I would do it all year long if I could, but it gets me too excited. So for instance, you know how like the whole Christmas in July thing?
Yeah.
People start posting videos of Christmas decorations and stuff on TikTok and Instagram in like July. And I'll start watching it and hearing the Christmas music, and I'm getting all ready for the season, dude. And I'm like, it's still 5 months away.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I don't like decorating for Christmas until after Thanksgiving. It's because Thanksgiving Day feels like Christmas Day without the presents.
Yes, it does.
And so it's weird to put up your tree like at the beginning of November and listen to Christmas music, and then Thanksgiving comes around and you're just like, wait a second, this is Thanksgiving, it's not Christmas.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you, where it's like, I really like it. I kind of like that for 1 month every year I listen to this, and then I don't after that. Like it keeps it fun.
Yeah.
And I think Christmas movies are the same way, where it's like, I don't want to watch them all year because I get so bored with them. Yeah. I kind of do already. That like the same 3 or 4 play all the time. I do love them, but it's like, it does get exhausting.
Which ones?
I was going to say, that brings me to, so we're going to do a movie draft. So I have my top 6. We're only going to do 3 each, but I have 6 in case you steal them. So you can go first. What is your favorite Christmas movie?
Muppet Christmas Carol.
Muppet Christmas Carol. Okay, that one's not on mine.
I was going to say, I know it's not on mine for you.
I think I knew that about you too. And I know you said it earlier, but like before this, I think I knew that. I hadn't thought of it. I'm going to pick first round draft. I'm going to go National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I feel for whatever reason, the dialogue, dude, it just kills me.
What's your favorite line in it?
Oh man, I don't even know, dude. There's so many. I think his speech at the end, like his rant about like he's gonna find the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the Mississippi, like all the hopeless, heartless, dickless, headless, like whatever all that is. Oh, hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol? Whatever that is like the best rant of all time. So many good ones, and I really, really like Cousin Eddie and that whole thing of the dog when he's like hacking. And he's like he got it up. That like all of him is so funny.
I don't know why, but for me, the funniest one, and it gets me every time so hard, is when Clark is talking about that he just heard on the news that they saw Santa, and he's like, "Are you serious, Clark?" Dude, I cry like
because he's so honest about it. Yeah, that's a great character.
It really is.
Like the happy idiot is always such a great character. I always think, and my favorite kind of idiot in any movie or TV show is like an idiot who thinks they're a genius. That's the best. Yeah. Like Barney on Andy Griffith is he thinks he's outsmarting everybody. But I do think that Cousin Eddie might be like an all-time Christmas thing. All of it, honestly, I think that movie is so quotable too. Maybe that's why it stands out to me, because like all the other ones are enjoyable, but that's the one I find myself like quoting the most.
I hadn't seen that movie. I think the first time I saw it was with you in theater.
Really?
Yeah. Remember? And you brought your buddy came along. It was for movie night.
Oh
I think you went to the car dealership.
Was it like one of the reservation or anniversary things?
Yeah. Because I'd not. I mean, I'd heard of it.
That's crazy.
But it was just not one that we grew up on.
That's kind of crazy because I feel like that. Like I could see that being within your era of movies and stuff, or your parents' era.
Well, it was, but probably because of language and things like that, my parents didn't want. Because that was the two things that we weren't like. We could watch pretty much any gory movie that we wanted to growing up, but language and nudity were the two things that my parents were like, no.
Yeah, it's definitely got a few moments in there. I think it's also one of those movies where, like, from the jump, I'm already laughing. Like, in the first minute or two, like, him around the office when they're walking past him, Merry Christmas, kiss my ass, kiss his ass, kiss your ass. Like, I'm already dying laughing. It's the first few minutes. That's a good one. What's your number 2?
So number 2 and number 3 are hard because they go back and forth. It's either Home Alone is number 2 or Elf is number 2 or vice versa. Okay. I think it's Home Alone is number 2.
See, now this is an interesting one because I did not grow up on it for whatever reason.
Home Alone?
Yeah, on Home Alone, I didn't grow up on it. I didn't even see it until I was an adult, maybe, or a late teenager.
Okay,
never saw it, and I like it. But I think whatever the nostalgia, people are crazy about that movie.
Yeah.
I just don't have it.
You would have had to have watched it as a kid, so every kid wanted to be Kevin.
Yeah,
not just being left alone. Like Home Alone, like, oh, that'd be awesome. But the idea of taking on bad guys and defeating them with all these clever tricks that nobody would ever fall for.
Yes.
But, and that's like every kid's, at least a boy. I don't know, I can't speak for girls, but that's like every boy's dream is to like be that Rambo character at Christmas time.
I do. I like it, but I think it's one of those that is like so beloved that I almost come off sometimes like I don't like it because people worship it. And I'm like,
I understand that.
I don't know. But I do I agree that like that is a cool character to be. Like the badass kid. And I'm a sucker for Joe Pesci in anything too. Yes. So like I love that he did that. So what a great casting.
Well, you know what's funny is he said that was one of the hardest movies he's ever been in.
Really?
Because he wasn't allowed to cuss. Mm-hmm. And so obviously in all of his movies, like every 2 or 3 words, he drops like the F-bomb or something. And he couldn't do that. Yeah. So when he would get hurt and he would do that like he made up that languge to take place of him not being able to cuss.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting. Now I might like it more, honestly.
Okay. Yeah. I know I've talked to you about it, but the movies that made us on Netflix. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Have you watched them?
No. So there was one that you and I talked about, and I went and watched that episode, and I can't remember what it was. It maybe E.T. or something like that.
I don't know if they did E.T., but the Christmas ones are. There's only 3. There's Elf and Home Alone and Nightmare Before Christmas, which I don't really consider a Christmas movie.
I don't care for it.
It's not my thing.
My little niece is obsessed with that stuff, like that Tim Burton stuff.
Yeah.
It weirds me out, dude.
Yeah.
I think it's gross.
It weirded me out as a kid. I remember, I didn't see it in theater, I don't think, but I remember watching it on VHS right after it came out. And it just didn't do anything for me. And it wasn't a big hit, I don't think, when it first came out. Yeah, I think it became a cult classic as time went on.
I think that stuff's weird. I think a lot of that stuff, like honestly, all of his stuff is just not my jam. Like whatever that style is, I just don't care.
I love Big Fish, but that's probably his least Tim Burton film that I can think of.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even know if I knew that was Tim Burton. You made me watch that one. Yeah. And that's an awesome movie. I love that movie. But yeah, I don't even know if I knew that was him. Yeah, the Nightmare stuff is just weird. There's also like sometimes like a parody show or a comedian or something can like almost ruin something for me because they have such a great take on it. And Family Guy has this cutaway of Nightmare Before Christmas, and I think they're doing like welcome to Nightmare Before 4th of July. And it's just them dancing around with fireworks and they're going spooky, weird, la la la. And then Skellington pops up on the front of the screen and he goes, fat chicks with black hair get tattoos of me. And dude, I can't even like see him without thinking about that now. It's like totally ruined.
I don't have to watch that.
It's so funny. Fat chicks with black hair get tattoos of me.
It's Goth Girls.
Funny. Yeah. Goth Girls. So Home Alone is number 2, you think?
Yeah.
That's definitely like a beloved one. I'm gonna, just because you said it, I'm gonna be devil's advocate. I'm gonna take Elf at my number 2.
Okay.
I'm gonna steal it. I'm gonna go Elf at number 2. I do love it. I will say that is one of a few of them that gets way overplayed. Like around any room you're in the month of December, Elf is on, and I'm like, tone it down a little bit. But I think my favorite part of that movie is the first act with the claymation stuff, because I'm a sucker for claymation. Oh, yeah. And I feel like most people don't even think, like, I've been in rooms of family stuff around Christmas where we're watching Elf and it comes on and I hear people go, oh, I forgot about this part. And I'm like, that's the best part when he's in the North Pole. That's my favorite.
And you know that almost didn't happen.
Really?
Yeah. Which, if you watch the Christmas movies that made, I won't say too much.
They talk about it?
Yeah. But the studio wanted everything like that CG. And thankfully, Jon Favreau had, the foresight to say, no, I want it to be a Christmas classic and for it to age well. Wow. And, it's going to look the same forever. Yeah. Right? Just like Gremlins. I heard that Gremlins 3 got a green light, and I love Gremlins. I'm nervous, but also excited because Joe Dante, I think he's supposed to be directing it again.
Okay.
Which is great. But I hope they stick to hand puppets and things and don't make it CG, because it's going to age. Gizmo will look like Gizmo
forever,
1,000 years from now. Yeah, but if they CG it, he will not.
And there is something to that, like that Rudolph, and the Miser Brothers and the Kris Kringle, that whole claymation, group of them. Like I love them. A lot of people don't, but I really love those are. I didn't put any of those on my list. I do love them, but they do. They look the same. That's a great point. They almost like intentionally are already aged out when it comes out. Yeah. Like it's gonna look like that forever.
Exactly.
And nobody seems to mind. It's never like, that didn't age well.
I think people do mind in time, but they don't think about why. Yeah. Right? They're like, oh, well, that didn't age, that didn't age well. Yeah. And it's like, well, yeah, it's because it's not practical. Practical always ages well.
It's also so quick now. that stuff ages out, like with the progression. Haley and I were watching Castaway a couple weeks ago in the hotel. Actually, after my car crash in Chattanooga, we watched it because we couldn't sleep, and she'd never seen it. And we were watching, the whole beginning scene where he gets in the plane crash and goes down in the ocean and stuff, and it's such an intense scene. But I do feel like because she'd never seen it, she almost couldn't get as into it because it doesn't look great.
I haven't watched it in years, so I'll have to go back and look at it.
Yeah, it doesn't look great. Some of the waves are pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie, because I did, I took some like effects animation classes in college and stuff, so I'm a little more particular about that stuff, and it did not look great. Some of the fire and stuff, it just did not look so hot. What's your number 3 favorite? Or no,
so
number
it would
3.
have to be.
So you have
since you took Elf, I need to come up with something.
Yep.
So then that would make The Holiday.
Fresh. The Holiday. I don't know if I've seen that. What's
really?
The Holiday?
Okay. So it is.
You have 1,000 Christmas movies that I've never seen, I'm sure.
Well, this is Nancy Meyers, and it's a romantic comedy, and it's got Jack Black in it, and Jude Law, and
Cameron Diaz.
Yes, and Kate Winslet.
Dude, I've never seen this.
Dude, it's not just my top Christmas movie of all time as far as like it being my top 5. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I watch it all year round.
Really?
It's like my ultimate comfort film. Yeah.
Well, now I've got... Holy cow, there's Eli Wallach in this.
And his character is so great in it, dude.
You know why I know him?
Because the good, bad, the ugly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's the last human I expected to see on here. That's crazy.
You need to watch it. Like,
I will
go
watch
into
it
it knowing it's a romantic comedy, so it's going to be cheesy.
Yeah.
But almost all guys agree that is as far as, because there's a difference between, and I think we talked about this last time actually.
Rom-coms.
There's a difference between girl rom-coms and guy rom-coms.
Yeah.
This is really more of a girl rom-com, but it is really good.
Yeah, I think. What do you think that comes down to? Is it like director or writer sometimes, where it's like they're trying to capture a male audience but still make it a rom-com?
I think a big part of it is just who the film focuses on, right? Because I mean, like guy romantic comedies focus more on the guy.
That's true.
And so typically there's going to be more guy humor.
Krasinski too? Wow.
Yeah, he's very, very small part.
That's awesome. Yeah, I will definitely watch this.
Oh, it's
The
great.
Holiday.
We watched it today, actually.
You can have that one. I didn't even know about it. That's really
It came out in 2006. I think I saw it like 2 or 3 times in theater. I liked it so much. Yeah.
That's cool. And honestly, that, like, I guess Elf is a little newer than that. But when I think of, like, my favorite Christmas movies, almost none of them are newer than Elf. Like, what's the last great thing since then? I saw a really interesting debate. This is on another podcast, so this is not my thought. But somebody brought up what's, like, an iconic character in film, just in general, newer than... I think Elf may be the newest one they could come up with, where he was, like, iconic enough to where kids dress as it for Halloween. That's a tough one. Jack Sparrow was another one that came up in conversation. Yeah. I think it's about the same time as Elf. But like Christmas almost adds another layer of that, where it's like, what's a more iconic Christmas movie more recent than that? I don't know. When is Four Christmases? That's around that same time, right? 2008, 9, 10, somewhere in there.
Somewhere, yeah.
I really like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
I hadn't even thought about that one.
I don't. It was on my list, but it was way down my list. I think number 3, I gotta go The Grinch.
Okay.
The Jim Carrey one.
Yeah.
That's another. I'm a big dialogue person, and the dialogue in that movie
is so good.
Is so funny.
Yeah.
And we watched it maybe a week ago with my niece, and she's just like painting because she's like, I've seen it already. Like, she doesn't care.
Doesn't matter.
And me and Brad are like howling, laughing at it, and she's like so unaffected. But man, that's another one from the beginning scenes, like when he's got the mask on, he's walking through the town, and he's got that saw, and he's like, "Here, kid, take this. Run now. Come on, go, go, go." I'm already laughing a couple minutes
so great,
in.
That dark humor.
Yes. Jury duty. Pink slip. The whole thing is so good, and Jim's commitment to that role, I think, is another
especially
huge
with
part
like
of it.
where he like basically quit.
Yeah.
And then because of how painful it was to put on the
wasn't
makeup
there
and stuff.
something like he got like a FBI or a CIA
guy,
like a torture expert in? That's crazy.
It really is. Like I would kind of want to experience it just to see how bad it is, because I'm just like, I can understand it. Of course, people have different pain tolerances.
Sure.
So you don't know. Maybe he's got a really high one. Maybe it's also really low.
Yeah.
But either way, it was bad enough for him to have to bring on somebody just to get him through that. Because I forget how much money he made for that film, but he was telling them, "I will give every cent back.
Really?
I'm done."
Yeah.
From what I understand.
That's crazy. It's another one too that I think some of the like the theming of it is so unique to it, and some of like I guess just the direction involved, like what Ron Howard did with that, as opposed to the old animated one.
Oh yeah,
is like this is a world of his own.
Yeah,
he created
it really
this
is.
whole thing,
and he did unbelievably well.
Yeah.
Like sticking to it, but also like creating something new with it.
Yeah, it's another one that is super quotable too. But more than that, it's like it is so iconic that when I don't know. I mean, I don't remember. It's 2001, so I was only like 2 or 3 when it came out. So I don't remember a time before it. But I would assume that like before that, The Grinch is like people know it. But was it really a cornerstone of Christmas like it is after that movie?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there's probably an argument to be made that like the Jim Carrey one is what really maybe put the Grinch on the map, so to speak. Like it was a Dr. Seuss thing,
right?
But it wasn't like every store sells a Grinch.
Oh
mask.
yeah. That's a good point. Because I don't really remember. I mean, obviously, I was like 13 when that came out.
Yeah.
Or maybe even. Yeah, I've been about 13. And I mean, I grew up on the cartoon, but I don't remember like necessarily going to the store and seeing socks and pajamas and everything with him on it.
Or the Grinch meal at McDonald's. Like,
yeah, I saw that. They were giving away socks with it, right? Or something like that?
Grinch socks, and there's like these McShaker fries with the dill salt. We got them. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
That's awesome.
Did you see the Illumination one? The Benedict Cumberbatch?
I wasn't a fan.
I didn't love it either. I mean, I'm glad that they're trying, I guess, but we talked about this last time for sure, where I'm also like, just come up with something new. It can't be that hard.
Not only that, but like it kind of goes back to your idea of don't try to reinvent the wheel. It's already a beloved story. Like modernizing it just makes it stupid.
It's tough too, because the Ron Howard thing is like he kind of did get away with like improving upon the existing one.
Yeah.
So it's like you really don't get that twice in a row.
Yeah, no, you don't.
To improve upon the improvement is such a huge task.
And I'll still never understand why they bother getting big name actors to do voices. Like
with an accent.
Who cares? I mean, I like Benedict Cumberbatch. I think he's a great actor. Who cares that he did the Grinch? Like, he's not even doing his English accent. So who cares?
That's what really bugs me about it. Is like, why hire a British dude to do an American accent? Like, there's so many others. Then there's some where, like, you remember the whole Chris Pratt Mario thing that everybody was mad about? Where it was like, well, if he does too much Italian, it's going to be offensive or whatever. But if he just does American, then it's not enough Italian for it. It's like, just solution. Hire an Italian guy. Like why is nobody thinking this? It seems so simple. I don't know.
I liked Chris Pratt as him. I thought he did a good job.
It was the right amount of Italian.
Yeah. Well, and too, there were the people who were like, he doesn't sound like Mario, and I'm like, nobody wants to watch a movie, an hour and a half, a 2-hour movie of It's a me.
Oh my god.
I mean, that would get so old.
And they paid homage to it. Like they did it enough in the thing. That weirdly enough, when we were watching The Grinch that night at my stepdad's house, I guess it finished or whatever, and Netflix auto played the next movie, and it was Mario Brothers. So then we're
they did
all,
with us too.
Really? That's weird. Netflix is up to something. So we're sitting there watching it, and my niece is like paying attention. She's not paying a bit of attention. She's coloring or whatever. And it comes up to the Donkey Kong scene, and I was like, "Ooh, Ez, better look. Look who it is." And without even looking, she just goes, "It's Donkey Kong." And I was like, "How did you know? You haven't even looked?" She had her back to the screen. I was like, "You haven't even looked." And she goes, "I watch this all the time." She's like watching the same 6 movies all the time.
That's awesome. I mean, I did that as a kid too.
Yeah,
I watched a ton of movies, but they were always the ones I'd come back to constantly. It would drive my brothers crazy.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So I mean, I feel pretty honestly like National Lampoon's Elf and Grinch. I feel pretty good about that. Muppets, The Holiday, and Home Alone. That's a good one too. Yeah. I haven't seen The Holiday, but I'll watch it this year for sure. I also had Christmas with the Cranks on my list. Have you seen that one?
I have. Yeah.
I love that one.
It's fun. Have you seen because I know I've sent you some of his stuff, but the pitch meeting.
Yes, yeah.
Have you watched the pitch meeting for it?
The one for Cranks?
Yes,
I have.
It's
yes,
so
I have.
good.
It's very funny. Yeah, that guy's great. He's very
hilarious.
Funny. And the Cranks is like, I think it's a good mix of like fun and funny, and also there's some really like sentimental moments. There's something in that movie, and I haven't watched it in a couple of years. There's a moment in that movie with the old man who lives across the street, and I can't remember what it is, but there's a moment where he kind of drops his bitterness or what like he drops his coldness and his kind for a second, and something in that just really touches me. Like growing up with grandpas around, you kind of go from like grumpy old man to sweet old man.
Yeah,
really hit me. Like I remember watching it for the first time and be like, oh my god, this is the best movie ever. But I also just like Tim Allen.
Sure, I love Tim Allen.
Yeah, he's great. Also, this is probably not popular. I had Krampus on my list. It's so good.
It's so good,
It's
dude.
so good. And that's another one I'd never seen till you made me watch it. And I was like, dude, I know I bring this up to you all the time, but that final scene with the snow globes like haunts me.
Yeah.
I think about it all the time.
It's so good. The perfect ending for that.
It's a great movie, and it's one that, like, you know what? I may even try to throw that on this year at family Christmas because I guarantee you no one else in the family has seen it. But it's like, it's a nice break from all the normal crap of like the usual 5 movies. Yeah.
Well, again, it's like a modern day Gremlins. Have you ever watched Gremlins?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, some people don't like the Gremlins if they didn't grow up with it.
I didn't grow up on it.
I love it. But yeah. So
honestly, that whole era is rough for me. Like I appreciate them for what they are, and especially for the impact that they have on that like generation. But like E.T., Gremlins, Goonies, Sandlot, those kind of things. I'm like, yeah, it's fun, but it doesn't tickle my fancy for whatever reason. I don't know. I just didn't grow up on it. And then I also had Polar Express on there because that feels like a classic. However, that animation is rough. That can be
unpopular opinion. I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't like it.
Oh, no. Why not?
I don't hate it, but I don't like it.
Is it the animation?
I don't know. I think if I had been a kid when it came out and I watched it, then because Matt's the same way. That's like his favorite Christmas movie. Yeah. And I think my friend Jeremy too. I think that's his favorite. And I'm just like, really?
Yeah.
It's interesting. But they were all born like 99, 2002. So they would have been really little when it came out. Whereas what year was that it came out? Do you know?
I don't. I'm going to take a wild guess and say like 05 or something.
Yeah, so I mean, I was like up 18 or going on 18 at that point.
I remember that movie. For some reason, my elementary school just showed us movies all the time. They would put all the kids in the music room and just put movies on. Like, I remember watching Cars when it came out. I remember watching High School Musical when it came out. Whatever was popular and new, I guess when we had like a free day or something, we would watch quite a bit of movies.
Sure.
And I remember sitting in the carpeted floor of our music room watching Polar Express for the first time, eating a candy cane and being like, does life get better than this? I mean, this is as good as it gets.
This is peak.
2004. Yeah, 2004. So I was close.
Okay, yeah. So 17.
You know, this kid, like, a lot of people get mad about the animation and stuff, especially, like, this girl or whatever.
She's terrifying.
She's creepy. And the little yellow-headed kid with the glasses that's really annoying.
Yeah.
So when I was in college, I was an animation major, and we studied around Christmas. I had a great, amazing professor. Shout out to Greg. Love him. Around Christmas every year with his intro to animation class, or maybe the 201 class, we would study this. And there's this thing called Uncanny Valley. You know about this, I think.
Sounds familiar.
It's a term that they use in animation and sometimes other filmmaking, but Uncanny Valley, it's basically the idea that like there's animation and there's realism and there's this valley in between.
Oh, okay.
And if you're in the wrong place in that valley, it's like this weird psychological mental thing as humans where we see something that's not quite human, but it's not quite obviously fake. Mm-hmm. And the Polar Express falls well within that valley where it's like it's actually displeasing to your senses to watch it. Like it makes you uneasy because you go, that's not human.
Yeah.
But it's almost human. But it's like the tech wasn't quite there yet. So it was the best they could do. But that's one that has not aged well.
It looked great at the time. I mean, I remember watching it in theater and being like, I mean, this is impressive that they've pulled this
There's
off.
also a couple moments in that are just creepy as hell. Like the hobo on the roof.
Yeah.
That guy's weird. And there's this, do you remember the one part in it where there's the puppets or whatever and he's walking through that train car and then the hobo's on the roof controlling the puppets and yelling at him?
I don't think I remember that.
Oh, it's so terrifying. It's so scary. Like as a kid, it scared me so bad. Even we brought this up recently, and I think even my niece was like, "Yeah, it's scary." Like she's like, "It's a weird movie." I don't know why they would put that in like a kid's classic Christmas movie. That's all I put on my list. But now I'm feeling a little guilty that I didn't do any of those claymations because I do love those. Yeah. The Kris Kringle one was always my favorite.
Okay.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Because I really like the narration of the guy delivering mail and stuff. Is that Bing Crosby? That might be Bing Crosby.
One of them is Bing Crosby. One of them is Fred Astaire.
Oh, it might be Fred Astaire.
It's been so long since I've seen it that I don't remember which one is which.
I think it's Fred Astaire. And he, I think it's Fred Astaire. And he's like delivering the mail. And then, the whole thing of him like getting arrested for giving toys to the children. And then one foot in front of the other. Great song with the snow monster or whatever, the Yeti. Yeah, those are so much fun.
Yeah, that's a great one.
That's another one that like pretty iconic. Like you see those little toys a lot of the little what's the guy with the ice picks? What's his name? Conrad something. The musher with the dogs, you know, and the red beard. Yeah, somebody.
gun.
Somebody listening to this is like, I know his name. But yeah, those are just so iconic. What about Christmas songs?
Okay.
We could do a draft here too. We can do top 3 on these.
Okay.
There's so many.
Yeah.
This is a tougher one. And I wrote down 6 of these too, just in case. You go ahead. What's your number 1
Okay, so
Christmas song?
I think we're going to have to maybe, and it doesn't matter actually, I can go with it either way, but I love Christmas carols and I love Christmas hymns, but I don't consider them in the same genre.
Right. Something you'd hear in a department store.
Something in a department store.
Or like something you listen to. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, hymns work, I think, if you heard them growing up.
Oh, yeah. Well, both, yeah. And I mean, to be fair, you hear Christmas hymns from like Nat King Cole, for instance. You know, Hark the Herald Angels Sing. It's one of the best versions, his version.
Yeah. That's another fun part about Christmas songs is a lot of times there's like 10 versions of the same song.
Yeah. And sometimes there's only one good version.
I agree.
So my number 1 just Christmas song as far as that goes is The Christmas Song.
There you go.
By Nat King Cole.
There you go. That's a classic. Mine are kind of like, I just have to be annoying with these, I think, because mine are like less traditional maybe. Mine is Run, Rudolph, Run by Chuck Berry. I'm a sucker for Chuck Berry. Anything that dude does, and I understand he's a very controversial figure. If you dig into his,
I don't know anything about him. Man. I know who he is. But.
Up until the late 60s, he's all rock and roll. He's all good. After that, don't look into it, folks. He turned out to be not such a great dude.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. There is a hilarious video of him performing with John Lennon and Yoko. Have you ever seen this?
No.
This is not Christmas conversation, so I'm sorry. But let me derail for a second. I'll show it to you after if I remember. So John Lennon, like the Beatles are the Beatles because of Chuck Berry. He's like they're everything. And so this is like a big moment for John. He gets to be on stage performing with like his hero. But it's after the Beatles have split up and Yoko's in the picture. And Yoko is like screaming nonsense, like screaming and beating a drum while they're trying to do whatever that song. They're doing that. I'm sure it's like a dream moment for John Lennon. It's like dream come true. I'm with my hero singing his classic song, and then Yoko is screaming, and you can see Chuck Berry's face like jump when she starts screaming to the point where someone in the studio cuts her mic off, and then you can see on the video that she's still screaming, but you can't hear it at all, and then you can see Chuck and John like giving each other the look like, yeah, we cut her off. She's totally cut off because she was ruining it. She was totally ruining it.
Oh my gosh. I forever will wonder how that came about.
Yeah. I just watched.
I'm like, dude, you're like maybe the most famous rock star of all time, and you went with that. Okay.
With Nobody Understands It. I think she's still living too.
I think so.
She's around. The interesting thing I saw recently was I'm not a big Beatles guy. I mean, I appreciate the Beatles, but I really like their early stuff, and then I just am not on board.
Their later stuff just got stupid.
It just gets out there for me. But I saw probably one of the most like influential people in my life is Conan O'Brien, and so anything with him, I click it. And recently, it just hit my feed on YouTube. It was the history of the Beatles in I think 90 minutes with Conan O'Brien. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I know that they're huge for him, and he's met a bunch of them through the show, and he plays guitar, and I know him a lot, so I know that he loves them. But I was like, I'll just watch it. I learned a lot, actually. And they pretty much sum up all of the Beatles from the start to the breakup in like 90 minutes. And it's this guy who does this great podcast where they do things like this all the time. But he chose Conan for this. And they're in Abbey Road doing it. It was really interesting. It was really cool. But they were discussing the same thing with Yoko, where it's like, why did John do that? Why did he gravitate towards that? I think they knew a lot about like his childhood and background and things that kind of gave some context maybe. But yeah,
I know he had kind of a rough childhood or something like that. There was a movie that was made, and I think it was maybe loosely based. I don't remember. But I'm trying to remember what it was called. It came out in like 2010. Aaron Taylor Johnson played him. And it started out with the first, was it the Crickets? Was that their first? Maybe before they became the Beatles.
Maybe so.
Something like that. But anyways, he was John Lennon, and I believe it's been years since I've watched it. Pretty sure he was John Lennon, or he was supposed to be like John Lennon.
Interesting.
And
yeah. Well, one thing that Conan brought up in that thing that I'd never considered is that one thing that separated them from other groups at the time is that they covered a lot of American like doo-wop and rockabilly songs and Chuck Berry stuff. Like they loved early 1950s American hits is what they would listen to. So, but when they would cover these songs, unlike other groups at the time, they covered a lot of songs by female groups. And one thing they did not do is change like lyrics in those songs, like swap girl for boy, or boy for girl rather. So there's a song on their first album called Boys. Yeah, yeah, boys. It's all about, but when they sing it, they did boys. And the point Conan made was like, it would have been so easy to change that to yeah, yeah, girls. It's so easy, but they didn't because they wanted to be true to the music that they love.
Sure.
And he's like, that's one thing that separated. That gave me a whole new perspective on some of their early stuff. Whereas if you go back through and listen, there's a lot of things like Mr. Postman. They cover that. That's a female group. I can't remember the group that did that one in particular, but like they didn't change any of the lyrics to reflect that they're the ones singing it. They like basically they were very strict about covering the work they loved. Sure. I like that.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. Yeah. Sorry, that was kind of a long tangent. What's your number 2 favorite Christmas song?
Okay. Oh, that's...
This one's tricky.
It is. It really is because there's so many good ones.
Yeah.
See, I'm very traditional on mine, so it's probably gonna be "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas."
That's a good.
And it's hard to know which version because I love Frank Sinatra's.
That's the one that comes to mind for me.
And then Ella Fitzgerald's is so good too.
Interesting.
And there's another version also that's really good.
She's great. Ella's great. I don't know, that version doesn't immediately stand out to me, but I'm sure
it's in
great.
the holiday. It's
is
really,
it?
Yeah.
That's that's a good one. I feel like in the way that you're going with the theme of tradition, I'm going with the theme of not. My second one that I wrote down is Little Saint Nick by the Beach Boys. That's
a great one though.
These are like, I just like Chuck Berry and the Beach Boys, so I just naturally like their early songs. That one just gets me happy. That's just like a serotonin song. That just makes me happy. What about number 3 for you?
Maybe White Christmas.
Oh, that was my number 3.
Oh, suck it!
You did it!
Suck it!
You did it! That's such a
Which
good
version?
One. The older one. I would have to think. Who's the Drifters? I think.
Okay.
I think it's the Drifters. It's like the classic doo-wop version.
Sure.
That's
a good one. For me, it's Bing.
Is it?
Oh,
yeah. I think of that one too. That real deep voice. I mean, he's built for that song for sure. And that might even be this album. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I really like that one. So that bumps me to my number 4 spot, which is kind of on the same thing, is Blue Christmas, Elvis.
Okay.
Yeah. That one, it's a different spin on it. It's like, it gives you this picture of the sadness involved with Christmas. And it makes me think of my grandma, my dad's mom, was an obsessive Elvis fan. Like a fan of him, unlike any person I've ever met who was a fan of anything. Like you wouldn't, her whole house from floor to ceiling, Elvis. Every throw pillow and blanket, his face. Wow. Her whole bedroom, her comforter was his face. It got to the point where, like, in her older age, that we couldn't buy her gifts that were Elvis gifts because she had all of it. Anything ever made Elvis. She had, Elvis cookbooks, Elvis clothing. She had downstairs, one of those briefcases in the corner under those speakers is every newspaper and magazine and everything from when he passed away. She made my grandpa drive around and buy all the newspapers.
Really?
She was obsessive over him. She even he came to Bristol in 74 or 5, shortly before he passed away, in the middle of the winter.
He's still alive, bro.
Allegedly passed away. Now he's 150.
That's right.
But before he allegedly passed away, he came to Bristol, and my grandma took my aunt, who was just a kid. My dad wasn't even born yet, so she's like under 10. She's probably 6 or 7. And my grandma jumped out of line, left my aunt standing there crying, and jumped onto the front of Elvis's tour bus and grabbed it by the windshield wipers and was screaming, "Elvis, Elvis, I love you!" And they had to rip her off. But the cop that pulled her off was her brother-in-law, my uncle.
No way.
My Uncle Herbert had to rip her off the front of the thing. And then my Uncle Herbert wound up being the security guard from the police department that was with Elvis all weekend. And he stayed at the Days Inn on the Parkway over here in the penthouse suite, which is hilarious because if you look at it now, you're like, that's the trashiest hotel in town. But in 75, it was new.
Sure.
And my uncle guarded the door. So when Elvis left, my uncle got a glass that Elvis drank milk out of, and it's still in their house. They have it, and it's got the milk up the side of the
no
glass
way.
where he drank it of. Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
She was like obsessed with him, dude. And she later in life, shortly after I was born, she was like supposed to take care of me, but she had a severe stroke and lost about like 50% of motor function and about like 80% of speech. So my whole life I knew a very different person.
Sure.
But she was the sweetest. Like I saw her every Tuesday in my teen when I started driving. I would go see her. She passed away during COVID, but she was amazing and such a crazy Elvis fan. However, she is the first person I ever knew who really opened my eyes to some of the sadness that Christmas can hold for people. Because she had like 10 siblings, a lot of which who had passed on, and all these cousins and all these things. And I remember shortly before she passed away, maybe one of her last Christmases or two, I was talking to my aunt about it. And I was like, why is Nanny always so sad during Christmas? Like, everybody's always so happy and she's sad. And my aunt said, she can't help but think of everybody who's not around. It's the opposite of what most people do. Like, appreciate who's around. She's the opposite because she's lost so much.
Sure.
But so Blue Christmas is Elvis, and it kind of sees that side. So it makes me think of her a little bit. And I think for some reason, that's why it stood out to me, because it's like normally Christmas songs are all jolly and bright and merry.
Yeah.
Not that one. That one's like, you've left me, I'm dying without you. Blue Christmas. Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of what goes along with what I was talking about with Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. I love Frank Sinatra's, but Frank Sinatra's, I love it because it feels sad.
Yeah.
I don't listen, like when you listen to Ella Fitzgerald, you're like, oh yeah.
She ain't sad.
Oh yeah. When you're listening to Frank Sinatra's, you're just like,
what is that? I would almost use the word melancholy.
Yeah.
That comes around it's very interesting, and it's probably hard to even discuss or articulate, but I feel it even. And especially as I get older, I think one theory I have, you can fact check me on this. The theory that I kind of have on it is that Christmas as a kid is so special and magical and forced in a lot of ways, but like excessively magical to a kid, to where when you grow beyond that point, it's kind of natural to feel a little bit of a letdown with it. So I think in moments where, like, now that I'm in my I'm 26, so if I'm sitting around my house alone on Christmas, it feels like extra depressing because it's supposed to be this magical, wonderful time, and it's just not anymore. I think that's part of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, you don't see a lot of like sad Christmas media either. Is there? You've seen a lot more Christmas movies than me. Is there like a sad Christmas movie?
I don't think so. I mean, if there is, it usually ends happy.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, It's a Wonderful Life. You could say that one's pretty sad. I mean, because it's sort of a tragedy the whole way through.
That's very true.
And even the end is a tragedy, but it's like the happy ending is he's got the money, so he doesn't go to prison.
Right.
Like that's not exactly a happy ending. Like he didn't end up with money. He didn't end up like getting to do any of the things that he wanted to do. He just basically found out, you know what? I am special to people, and that was the happy ending.
Yeah,
that may be the saddest Christmas movie.
You know what's interesting is that was my grandpa's favorite Christmas movie.
I love it.
He watched it religiously every year. Oh, it is. And so he wanted to watch it alone though. So that would kind of enforce your theory of like Christmas Story. He watches all damn day, every Christmas, all day, 24 hours of you'll shoot your eye out. But that one's more like social. Yeah. For some with It's a Wonderful Life, he wanted to be alone when he watched it. Yeah. That's a great one. Dude, I had a couple like Christmas songs on here too. Do you know Hey Santa Claus by the Moonglows? It's another kind of old doo-wop.
I'm not sure.
There's a saxophone solo in it, which I'm a sucker for a nice saxophone solo.
Absolutely.
I love it. That's a really good one. And then I really like, it's just called Christmas. I think it's Brenda Lee maybe, but the like Baby Please Come Home.
Okay,
Christmas. That one has this opening with like sleigh bells and like maracas maybe even at the beginning that feels very dramatic and like really kind of draws me in to it. Yeah. I think that's another really good one. There's a lot. Do you have any others besides your top three?
Oh, there's tons. Yeah, I mean, I could go on for a while because again, if I can incorporate hymns in there,
Oh yeah.
Oh Holy Night's my favorite.
That's a great
Hark
one.
the Herald Angels Sing, Joy to the World, Silent Night.
Joy to the World. Joy to the World also makes me think of National Lampoons though, when he starts singing and then plugs it in and nothing happens.
The drum roll, dude. That gets me.
Oh yeah.
Dad's like,
yeah. Dude, I was just watching a clip of Chevy recently because for whatever reason people are still letting him talk. But they were letting him talk on a thing recently. And he's just lost it. He's just
I haven't kept up with
what a fall from grace. But people still let him talk. And he was saying that the house they shot that movie in is on the Warner Brothers lot or the ranch there, and that they used it for another movie, and it was Lethal Weapon. Okay. It's the same house from Lethal Weapon.
Interesting.
And I guess either for Lethal Weapon or just by happenstance, there was an old toilet on the lawn of that house when they showed up to start filming. And he's like, I remember seeing that toilet on the lawn and thinking that's got to go. You know, we can't have a toilet on the lawn. And that when they showed up the next day to shoot that it was gone. And that he said one of the first scenes they shot is when he's hanging all the lights on the outside and he falls into the bushes. But he goes, some stupid PA just moved that toilet into the bushes to get it off camera. So when I fell, the cut that's in the movie is me hitting a porcelain toilet after I fell off the thing. So he's like, a lot of that like painful grunting and stuff that I do is because I didn't hit a bush. I hit a toilet when I fell down, which I've never heard that before.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's really crazy.
Well, you know, speaking of Chevy Chase, he's always been, from what I understand, a jerk.
Yeah.
Like, he's hilarious. But Chris Columbus, who directed Home Alone, was the original director for National Lampoon Christmas.
Oh, okay.
He ended up having to quit because Chevy Chase was so awful to him. Because he was like a first-time director. But, you know, it ended up working out because, like, I think John Hughes is the one who wrote National Lampoon.
I believe so.
And then he's also the one who wrote Home Alone. So it was a happy accident because I think he was only able to do Home Alone because he ended up not doing National Lampoon. And Home Alone has ended up being one of the biggest Christmas movies of all time.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And that's in that also. So
okay.
Yeah, you need to watch it, dude. It's so good.
It's so crazy how some of that stuff works out. Like, had Chevy not been a jerk, that you may not have Home Alone.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Or you would have, but it would have been a completely different movie.
Not what it is. Not the same. Yeah, I think, isn't there something like that with Elf too? I don't remember exactly the backstory, but there's something with Favreau where it's like he didn't want to take the project or for some reason.
Well, Favreau actually was instantly, if I'm remembering correctly, he was instantly attracted to it because he loved Christmas. But there was all kinds of problems with it. Like Will Ferrell was not supposed to be. Nobody, like, the producers were like, are you sick? Because Will Ferrell wasn't anybody back then.
He's on SNL at the time, maybe?
Yeah, SNL. And then I think he was like in one movie.
Yeah.
And so they wanted Chris Farley. Imagine how different of a movie.
So different, but I just...
It would have been hilarious still.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean...
You know, he was also Shrek.
Really?
Farley, yeah. You can see early animation cells and voiceover of him as Shrek. Now that's a different movie.
Huh.
Now that's a different movie.
That's
like,
crazy.
Because there's no Scottish accent. It's just Farley being Farley.
Yeah.
You can see early sketches of him and, which is crazy to think it would have been Chris Farley and Eddie Murphy as the duo. And that, I mean, that's a crazy combo.
Yeah.
But there's early, like, scenes of them, like, around the campfire together and stuff. And it's all hand drawn. It's black and white, but you can go in and listen to Farley's voiceover on the script.
So what changed it?
I think he might have passed away.
Oh, okay.
I think it's right around that time.
Okay, see, I thought he passed away a little bit later than that for some reason.
I'm thinking that he passed away, or maybe it just changed. I'm not really sure, but I know it wound up being Mike Myers, right?
Yeah,
is the difference. And then he did
a huge thing for his career, honestly, because if I'm remembering correctly, his career was kind of like taking a nosedive at that point.
I believe it.
So
I believe it. Yeah, yeah, that's an interesting one too. I'm gonna actually look that up because I haven't seen that in a while, and it is like. It's a little, you know, like when you've only ever seen Shrek the way it is.
Right.
So to see it different is extra wrong. What's sort of interesting is that, at least in the ones that I've seen, Shrek himself looks different, and he actually kind of looks like Chris Farley.
Really?
They had drawn him, to look. So it says Chris Farley was the original voice of Shrek, recording most of the dialogue, about 80 to 95%, for an earlier version of the film before his tragic death in 1997. His portrayal is more shy and vulnerable, contrasting Mike Myers' eventual Scottish accent.
Dude, 80 to 95% is insane.
It's almost done. It was
I'm surprised they changed it at that point.
Yeah.
That almost seems like a slap in the face a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Like, if it had been like half, I could maybe see it, but holy crap.
But I mean, you could just cut that extra 15% or whatever, or work around it and have him. No, they did.
Find somebody that can sound like him.
Part of it may have been they didn't want the bad press of it too, but this is, I'll cut this out of the episode, but this is. Nothing like it's kind of good.
I was going to say, I actually really do like it.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
I would love for them to. I mean, obviously they can't release it because the whole thing is computer animated, but like it'd be cool to see his version.
Yeah. So I guess part of it too is like, you know, in animation they do the voiceover first, and then the animators come in and match to the voiceover. So what I'm assuming off of these early sketches that we saw in the video and stuff is that pretty much none of the animation was done. Just all of the 90% of the voice acting was done. So, but to your point again, it's like, why not just go on it?
Yeah.
And honestly, do you think, in your opinion, would that have brought more attention to the movie if they put it out being like, would people go out and go, we want to go see Chris Farley's last movie?
Yeah.
I think
in some ways I can see it would have.
It could go that way.
Yeah.
It could also go, oh, how unfortunate they're making money off of a dead star. Like maybe that's.
I don't know though. I mean, because Chris Farley is definitely not the only person that would have happened to. I mean, off the top of my head, I don't know that I can think of any, but
they're still doing it.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like Carrie Fisher in that last Star Wars, you know, a lot of people had gripes about that, and that's like with AI enhancement.
Had
too.
Val Kilmer died before they released? Okay,
yeah, he had died because I remember that's a very odd feeling when you're watching a movie and you know that actor is dead. Even like, and this maybe is a dark subject to bring up, but even like the whole Rob Reiner thing right now. I know a lot of people are starting to revisit a lot of his films. So unfortunate.
I figured we would talk about that.
Yeah, you're the perfect person to bring it up. I mean, I think my take on it is just how unfortunate it is, obviously, and how awful it is. What actually really frustrates me about it the most is seeing all these media outlets, and I don't know how much you've seen, but like they're starting to do this thing where they go, what's his Nick, the son that allegedly did the killing. Nick got into a disgruntled argument with Bill Hader at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party. Why are we doing that? Why are we throwing the celebrity on there? Why are we? It's like the more celebrities they can tack onto the issue, and maybe he did, but that doesn't affect anything to know that.
Yeah.
And I know again, and this is partially like I love Bill Hader and I love Conan, so part of it's like taking up for my heroes a little bit because I know that Conan worships the ground that Rob Reiner walks on, and Carl Reiner, his dad, was like a huge. Mel Brooks, Carl Reiner is like that's Conan, that's his influences. So I can't imagine what it's like to be Conan and to have met your hero and to invite him to your Christmas party, and then his son murders him, and then the media goes Conan O'Brien's Christmas party.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what Conan's
Well, secondly, what does it matter who he got into an argument with?
Who cares?
You don't kill somebody
who cares?
over an argument.
Yeah.
Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I think what they're basically using it as is like a way to point to his like his mental state and that he was problematic. I've seen things where they're saying he was walking up to celebrities asking them how famous they were and just being overall weird and annoying. And then that maybe he was asked to leave or there was a confrontation and that Rob Reiner and him left separate and all these things. But again, like all of that is just, we as a society want to dig in and we want to know what did he eat the day before he committed the murders? Like what? Who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And again, most of it's me being sensitive because it's a lot of my favorite people they're talking about. But I just don't understand. I don't understand our culture in that way where we go, you know, Rob Reiner was murdered by his son. That to me alone is enough of a headline.
Yeah.
But you have to go, Rob Reiner was murdered by his son after getting in a heated argument with Bill Hader at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party. I just hate it.
Because I hadn't even heard that. I had heard something about that he was in a heated argument with his dad.
That too.
Okay.
I think that too. I think basically the take that I've gotten from a number of different sources is like, he's been struggling again. And, you know, they said he'd been in rehab 17 times in the last like 7 years. And there's old clips resurfacing now of, I guess, I didn't know about this, but I guess Rob did a movie based on addiction and loosely based on his son's struggles.
Really?
And let his son co-produce or whatever. That, you know, that kid didn't do nothing, but he took him on the press tour for it. So there's all these clips that are very disturbing now to watch of them on stage at like a round table. And Rob will be talking about the film and he says, you know, I think through this film, I really learned about the struggle that Nick was going through. And I think it made me a better father and it made me really appreciate him. And you can see Nick's face. There's fury and anger and bitter and all these things that you can see on his face now. And when you see it now, knowing how it all played out, it's just so unfortunate and it's so sad.
It's sad.
And nobody saw it. You know, back then nobody really saw it. But I think, honestly, I hadn't seen those interviews prior to now. I think had I seen them when they came out, I would have been like, that dude's weird. Like, something's going on with that guy. Because he's clearly just out to lunch during this whole thing. But yeah, it's a real blow. I actually, I mentioned to you before we started that I was cataloging my vinyls last night, and I had forgotten, but I own All in the Family on vinyl.
You showed that to me,
and I don't know if I had it last time you were here. I now own All in the Family Volume 2 on vinyl, and it's like, why do they even make that?
That's weird.
Why do they make one, much less two? But you know, it's got Rob on the cover and stuff. So I just kind of had a moment last night where I was sitting in my living room looking at it, and Haley's like, "Who's that?" And she never seen the show, has no idea who it is. And I just go, yeah, some of this stuff is just me. You know, some of it's like, it's so personal to me.
Oh, sure.
That it really affects me. But everybody's talking about it. So you get all these weird takes on it and all this context. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, it's so sad.
I haven't really talked that much about it because it's like, I don't know. I mean, I didn't know anything about Rob Reiner as a person. Obviously, he's got some amazing films.
Yeah.
You know.
I think he had disgruntled a lot of his fans as well with some of his political takes and some of his, you know. And
I do know his political, and that's why I say I don't know much about as a person.
Yeah.
I don't know that we would have been friends in real life, but man, I mean, the dude made some amazing movies.
Amazing movies, and I have seen a couple of like TMZ footage and stuff of, you know, the past few years when they'd interact with Rob, and I will say that while I agree that his, and it's not even necessarily that I disagree with his politics so much as I just agree with anybody platforming their I just don't give a shit. I don't
exactly.
care. But I will say, like, his interactions, even with TMZ, which a lot of times are very confrontational, he was nothing but sweet and genuine and welcoming and all these things. And then from other celebrities, I've heard the same thing of like, no, he is one of the few that actually was that guy.
That's cool.
So it's just very unfortunate. But I mean, I grew up on watching him in All in the Family when he's in his early 20s, like still has hair and stuff. So that one really hit home for me. That's a sad thing.
It is.
It's a cool way to wrap up a Christmas episode. Let me try a better way. Because that is just awful. I mean, we kind of touched on everything, like, you know, the music, the movies, the food.
Well, I have a question for you, if you don't mind.
Hit me with it.
What do you think is the worst Christmas movie and the worst Christmas song?
Oh, this is going to get me in hot water. You're trying to get me in trouble. That's tough, because I figured
you were going to be asking that since you were asking the others.
You know, I didn't write any down, but I think the worst to me is something that when it comes on, I skip it.
Yeah.
I change the channel, which especially for both of those categories doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. Mm-hmm. It can mean it's so overplayed, I'm just over it.
Yeah.
And I think for me, again, this is going to get me in trouble. It's got to be The Christmas Story.
Okay.
The Ralphie, You'll Shoot Your Eye Out. Just because it's on 24 hours.
I get it.
It's so annoying.
Yeah, I only watch it on that day.
Yeah.
For that very reason.
Yeah. It's just so annoying. And my grandpa made me watch it so much growing up, and I just never liked it, man.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. That'd probably have to be the worst. And I'm sure, like, you know, as far as movies go, there's probably 1,000 Christmas movies that are way worse than that.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But, like, what am I turning off? It's probably that one. Song's tough. No, it's not. That's not true. It's not tough at all. It's not even close. It's Mariah Carey. Get that shit out of my face, dude. That is so... Oh, that stuff.
You know, it's... Yeah.
I'm already...
I almost appreciate it now because of how big of a meme it is.
That's true. It's become it's like hilarious. Beloved hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I had... we did our last Don't Tell of the Year on the 13th. And I didn't want to try anything close to the holidays because you just don't know with sales. So we did it on the 13th. And I asked the crowd before the show, I did like a 5-minute warning. And I was like, all right, I'm playing music in here. Are we tired of Christmas music or do we want it? And to my surprise, everybody was like, do it, Christmas. And I was like, okay. So I put it on and I put on like my favorites, obviously. And then they're playing and there's this older dude in the back who's been to a few shows and he's nice. And he pulls me to the side and he goes, will you play that Mariah Carey? And this guy's in his 60s at least. And I was like, say what? And he was like, will you play that Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas? And I go, yeah, I can play that. And I go, can I ask, like, why do you want that one specifically? And he goes, because it'll piss everybody off. And I go, what? And he goes, I'm a piss everybody off kind of guy. That's literally what he's like, full serious. And I went, okay. And then I played it and he looked at me and he went, okay, man.
What a king.
You got it. What about you? I mean, what's the worst Christmas movie to you?
So I don't want to say it's like the worst. It's kind of like what you said. So for instance, there was a movie that came on the other night. We finished watching It Happened on Fifth Avenue, which is, it came out in 1947, same year as The Bishop's Wife and, what's the other one?
Miracle on 10th Street?
Yeah.
Is that year?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it got kind of brushed under the rug. You know, nobody really knew it because Miracle did so well.
Right.
But this weird Christmas movie came on afterward. It looked like it was filmed at the BBC in like 1990.
Yeah.
And it looked terrible. But, you know, so there's movies like that where it's just like, I've never seen that, but obviously it's bad. But if I'm thinking of something that everybody knows, again, I don't hate it. It's just,
Go ahead.
It comes on.
You can do it.
I've already said it.
What, you did?
Polar Express.
Oh, Polar Express. Yeah. That's true. And that for you, it's the animation, but it's also like you're just not jiving with it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Not even the salt, not even the hot chocolate.
I mean, I'm not saying there's bad part. Like, there's some good parts in it, but just like, I don't know. It just never clicked with me. I saw it in theater with a couple friends, and I don't think any of us were real taken with it, but we were all the same age. So I think it was the type of thing that if I had been a little kid, I probably would have thought it was magical. Yeah. Kind of like you with Home Alone.
Exactly.
Like, Home Alone was everything.
You just missed it, kind of. Yeah. Hot chocolate, whew, man, that gets me fired up. I like that. That makes me want hot chocolate. What about song? What's the worst Christmas song? This one could actually get people upset. Like, people are passionate about.
I know. There's several. If it's Christmas hymn, Go Tell on the Mountain.
I don't even know that one.
It's
just annoying.
It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick one, it's got to be Christmas Shoes.
Oh my God, I forgot about Christmas Shoes. Yeah, it's bad. It's
bad. What record label was like, you know what?
Yeah.
That.
You know what's funny? I think I only know about that song because of like Matt and you and like that circle of people. Like, I don't think I would have even known about it if not for you.
Does Matt like it?
He either likes it or hates it, I think.
Because there's one song, I remember when I first met him and I asked him what his favorite Christmas song was. And I'm pretty sure he said Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time, and I despise that song.
That's pretty annoying.
And I was like, I'm not going to say anything.
That's true. That is annoying.
It's a terrible song.
It's different, so I like it. But it is annoying, is the Hawaiian one, Malakaliki Maka. Kind of annoying.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying. All of it's kind of annoying.
I still like that, though, the Malakaliki.
I kind of like it. Just makes me think about the Christmas Vacation scene with
crazy?
the pool.
I only just found out a few days ago that he says that's Hawaii's way of saying Merry Christmas.
I saw this.
My entire life is a lie, dude.
Yeah. I just saw a TikTok where somebody
Instagram.
was like, "Did you know?"
Yes. Yeah. I had no idea. I woke Lauren up.
So what did you think it said?
Because he talks about Hawaii and that's how they say it, I thought he was saying it's a wise way. In other words, because that's how they say it in Hawaii, so that's how you should say it in Hawaii. So it's a wise way to say how Merry Christmas.
But it's Hawaii's way.
But it's Hawaii. I did not know. I literally watched that video and I turned to Lauren. She was asleep. I woke her up and she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Did you know?" And she was like, "Yes." And I'm like, "Are you serious?"
Like, go back to sleep. Stupid.
Screw you.
We're getting a divorce. That's the line.
A Christmas song that I love that most people don't know, it's Bing Crosby, is Christmas in Killarney. And I think it's actually on that album.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's really good. It's one of those fun, like catchy ones, kind of like Melakaliki Maka.
I do feel like in general, most Christmas music is so repetitive that it does get a little annoying. Yeah. Sometimes. Yeah, it does get annoying. What's the other... the Wham one's really good. I didn't even bring that up, but Last Christmas, Wham, love it. Love it. That one gets me fired up too.
I have a love-hate relationship with that one because I don't understand the chorus.
Okay, break it down for me. Let me think on this.
Let me think of the words. Let me think of the words here. Because it's like... This year, to save me from tears, I'll give it to someone special. So, are you saying that you're upset about somebody who wasn't special last year?
That's true.
You know,
that's a good point.
And it's like so over the top that it's something I ironically listen to it. Yeah. Like rap. I don't like rap. I'll ironically listen to rap, and I ironically listen. to
Wham!
That.
I'm telling you. Wham is another thing that's been ruined for me by media. Like, I just think about Deadpool with him being like, wham.
Yeah.
That's when they earn that exclamation mark. Yeah. Okay. So so I gave you my heart. The very next day you give it away. This year to save me from tears, I'll give it to someone special. Right. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm just like, okay, so wait, what's the issue
so
here?
Then why are you crying if the last person wasn't even special? Right.
He probably realized he wasn't special. That's why he gave you away in the first place.
Bye, George Michael. That's interesting. I mean, I feel like I'll rock with that one. All of them, I'm like, you get 3 plays. Like this year, I'll listen to it 3 times and I'll really like it. After that, it's annoying. Like, stop it. And that's one that definitely will play in like Belk or something.
Oh yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
Like, just cut
and
that
like
off.
Every single time, that and the Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time is what always plays when I turn on 90.5 every single time.
That's the Paul McCartney one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that one up too when you brought the because it's so repetitive. It's like, come on, man! Like, oh my god,
it doesn't feel Christmassy at all. Like it just, I don't know. It's just so annoying. Just drives me crazy.
Yeah, and that's enough. Yeah, it's something about repetitive stuff. Like what? There's this is not Christmas, but there's the George Harrison song. What is it? Oh God, his most popular solo song that drives me up a wall. His only song that drives me up a wall. What is that song? his like top track on Spotify, I'm sure, that is so annoying because it's just the chorus over and over and over and over again. God, why can I not think straight today? I don't know what's going on with me. It's so annoying, and it's not even Christmas, but it is very annoying. It's tough. I mean, it's also tough to go from like I'm one of the Beatles, to I'm doing my own thing now. You know, like that's tough.
Paul was probably the only one that really, like,
got my mind set on you. That's the one where I'm like,
I don't even know if I know.
Oh my God, it's just that over and over again. I've got my mind set on you. It's just over and over and over and over again the whole time. That one's annoying.
Why do you think John and Paul didn't let him write any music in the Beatles?
That's true.
You just stick to what you do.
Dude, this takes me back to Family Guy again. You see the Family Guy where they go, I don't remember the setup, but it's something about Ringo trying to write a song. And he's like, hey guys, I wrote a song. And they go, we'll put it on the fridge where we'll see it every day. And he goes, all right.
He still writes music, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's still doing it. He's like 150, and he's still, him and Elvis are still doing music. That's crazy. Knox, thank you so much for coming on and doing a Christmas episode. Yeah. This is very fun. Merry Christmas, everybody. Is there anything you want to say to the masses? Is there any last minute? Do you want to promote any shows you have coming up? Do you want to plug your business?
I don't think so. Just have a Merry Christmas.
Hey, have a Merry Christmas, guys. Thank you so much. Watch them up at Christmas. That's the one. That's slept on.
That's the
Watch
message.
that. Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Bye.